Here we go. Good evening, and I have a special gentleman here today who is going to be sharing his musical vocation and avocation with us. So, sir, what is your name and what
My
instrument do you play?
my name is David White, and I play the bass trombone.
Oh, that's awesome, the bass trombone. Cool. So, when did you learn how to play that instrument?
I started playing the trombone, the regular tenor trombone, when I was 12, and I started learning bass trombone when I got to high school and the jazz band.
That's awesome. Cool. Why did you choose that particular instrument?
I didn't. I wanted to play saxophone because I saw this really cool show and it had a saxophone solo. And I told my parents I want to play saxophone in middle school, and they said, "Great, you can play saxophone in middle school." And my aunt gave me a trombone, and I said, "I don't want to do this," but then I did it, and then I fell in love with it. So there it is.
Beautiful. I like that. See, you don't know until you try something. So, who inspired you to become a performing musician or to teach music?
Wow. Who inspired me to become a performing musician? His name was Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. I wanted to play because a piece of music I heard entitled Lacrimosa. So it wasn't necessarily about me being in band, it was just about me participating in the music world. And it kind of grew from there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Cool. So, how did you get to this point in your life musically? Please briefly share your journey from the beginning to now.
Wow. So I'm old. So let's see how fast I can go through this. So after I left high school, I got a college scholarship to Sam Houston State University, where I studied music composition with some composers from the Houston Symphony. After that, though, I started getting more serious into my trombone playing and decided I wanted to perform. So I got
Hey,
my first degree and then start playing in symphony orchestras. Got my second degree in trombone performance at the University of Houston. And then soon after that, I started teaching in private schools, and then I started teaching public schools. And then I became a music administrator.
that's awesome. Cool. All right. So, share a time musically when you were challenged and had to dig deep down for perseverance and resilience in order to overcome and prevail.
Wow. So when I was in high school, I went to do something called All Region auditions. And All Region is when you compete against other kids. And I was very, 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 very poor. And I had a really not good instrument, and it was in not good condition, and it had tape on it. Auditioned with these kids that had these instruments that were over $5,000 a piece, and they owned them. And the first year, I tried really hard, and I didn't make it. Got kind of clobbered. And so I had to kind of make a decision if I was going to be upset and quit because it was frustrating because they had more than I did, or was I going to keep going? So I decided that I'm just going to keep going. And then the next year I practiced even harder. I still didn't have any private lessons. I still didn't have any help. I just worked a lot more than I guess a lot of people did. And out of 40 kids, I got chair number six. So I made it.
That's beautiful. What a great story. That's awesome. You kept going. The little engine that could. I like that. So, if you had an opportunity to do something differently musically, what would it be?
I think if I were to do something different musically right now, I'd be more of a music researcher, where I'm doing a lot more research into the field of music sociology, which is studying music and society. Or equally, I would have followed my other path of conducting because all of my teachers told me that I should have been a orchestral conductor.
That's wonderful. And that's interesting that you mentioned about the research of music because that's called a musicologist, which is usually at the university level. But I think that's pretty cool. Nice, very nice. So, what advice would you give to a young musician starting off in middle school band, orchestra, choir, mariachi, any of those things? Guitar.
I would say explore. Many times we get stuck in the music that we grow up around. We get stuck in the music in our environment, and that music can be great. But I think if you spend time exploring all types of music, you'll discover that the world is so vast and so rich of experiences that over life you will have a great experience instead of just being stuck into, I like this type and that's all I like. So
Yep, I love that.
explore, explore.
Yeah, diversity, definitely. I love that. Cool. So, what is your vocation and your avocation today?
So, my vocation, what I do to make money, is I am a fine arts and music administrator in the Houston Independent School District, where I manage all the instrumental music programs, band, orchestra, mariachi, jazz, guitar. What I do for pleasure, just for fun, I actually, believe it or not, big nerd, I like to read and study music sociology, where again, I kind of explore the idea of what goes on in music and society in different parts of the world. So not just music happens here, but in Germany and Australia and Africa and Japan, and how people think about it.
That is beautiful. Yeah, we saw in our world music unit how the different parts of the world, how they were connected. And a lot of it had to do with the continent of Africa that really has its deep roots into music all around the world, which is really fascinating. So, Mr. White, where do you go from here? Briefly share your musical ambition for your next journey in life, music.
So I'll be starting my PhD, my doctorate in music sociology. Technically, there's not a field called music sociology, so I'll be getting my PhD in the field of sociology and applying that knowledge to music. So, and
Okay,
as Ms. Poner said earlier, there is a field called musicology, which studies the history of music, where I'll be focused specifically on the sociology of music.
that is wonderful. Wow. I can't wait to see that next step and be there to celebrate it with you and cheer you over the stage if there is a stage to walk over. So
Thank
I
you.
don't know. But thank you so much, Mr. White, for your time. We appreciate your very candid answers and you gave us a lot of information. I love the fact that you touched upon musicology and your inspiration of going from playing the trombone when you wanted to play saxophone all the way up to being a music administrator in a huge district, which, by the way, Houston HISD is one of the biggest districts in the nation. So that is quite an accomplishment, sir. And I thank you for your time this evening.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.